They really have been doing as much research as they can on this team, but they've straight up said, we give up.
Oh,
We're going to just outplay them best we can, and they're going to come out the gates with a Fizz ban. Rengar also banned away on the side of Noble Truth as we start this pick and ban phase off.
Yeah, and Enemy Esports is a team that came in ranked number 2 overall in terms of seeding. But a big thing about them is this is a team that was formed about a month and a half ago, with a lot of all-star players, and a lot of their lineup is 4 very aggressive players who just keep coming at you over and over and over and over again. They don't stop fighting you. And then Wolf's Claw, their mid laner, is the exception to that. He's a very good Xerath player. He loved the Nidalee back when it was the AP poke, and now he loves things like Jace. So he's really into that wave clear, whereas the rest of his team is like, just go, just flip the switch and get at that team and start fights. I think it's kind of like, you're familiar with that from the LPL.
Oh, yeah, it does definitely. They had a phrase they called a typical Chinese aggression, and this is the team that kind of fits that bill. As you mentioned, Wolf's Claw is kind of a little bit different, but they've been kind of training him. They want him to flash in rather than out.
Yeah, they've been kind of cracking the whip on him. He does have that pocket Vel'Koz, and I don't know how great that is to flash in with, but, you know, we'll see what he does.
You know, maybe if they line it up just right, and then all of a sudden you're disintegrating the life forms, you know, we'll see how it goes. But we could see the Vel'Koz pick. They don't want to necessarily reveal too much in this round, especially as favorites. We might see some really unorthodox stuff.
Yeah, and a little funny thing about the Wolf's Claw, he used to be on Area of Effect with Elements, and he never got to play Vel'Koz, because every time they had the opportunity to get it, Elements is like, swap it down to me, man. I want to support Vel'Koz. He's like, come on, I want to play that.
The Trundle was the one that I remember, though, always from Elements. That was pretty crazy stuff, too. But yeah, he never really got to shine the way he wanted to. Ziggs was a big pick for him, but not by choice. He always had to kind of do that to fit his team style.
Yeah, he liked the wave clear as well, though. That does suit his style a little bit. His team kind of forced him into that Ziggs pick, but now he's going to have a lot more options for that wave clear.
Speaking of kind of forming in with the team, CatGod, you know, he's played a number of roles as well. Previously mid laner, he was jungle for a little while. They've had him go top, and he said he doesn't like playing it in solo queue, but he's okay with it for the team because it works a lot better for the comms.
Yeah, he wanted to be mid or pretty much anything else. Like, top lane is his least favorite role, but they needed him to do it, and he is actually the captain of the team, and that's why they're the Caxton 5.
Ah, it's Motown, and it fits. They have a lot of stars on this team, though. You mentioned, too, Otter is a really fantastic laner. He fits into the team fights especially well. He handpicked his support. Body Drop, he said, that's the guy I want, and they have an incredible synergy. You can see why.
Yeah, and Body Drop is somebody that I actually recognize for his Thresh play back in the day. It's pretty much on par with where Sheep is in his Thresh play. Like, they both play this champion, and they are known for it. And then Body Drop, he's not as potent on many other supports. I know his Nami is his backup, but that's not what he's going to get today because it's taken away by Noble Truth immediately.
Yeah, and speaking of Noble Truth, too, they have a lot of, like you said, swap around, too. We actually had, like, Razorluck maybe going into the mid lane, but we didn't know what he would be playing. He's playing jungle this game. Again, they don't even know, an enemy doesn't really even know who's playing what. I mean, it's almost impossible to research this team, and that's the edge that they have going for them, so we'll see if they can make that happen.
Yeah, I don't even know if they know who's playing, because when I talked to them, they gave me their lineup, and this isn't the lineup that we're seeing loaded in here today.
Yeah.
Razorluck was going to play mid lane. He's actually an AD carry by trade. If you look at his history, he's got like hundreds of games of Lucian, Caitlyn, and then Vayne, and those are his top 3.
Jungle Lucian, man.
Oh, no.
No, the Kha'Zix is going to go mid, I swear.
The Kha'Zix, though, and he's going to play jungle, which is a role that you haven't seen him play in solo queue. He was on the roster as the mid laner for a bit, and now he's just swapped over to jungle. And it's really crazy, and I don't actually see Leonard on any of these things that I have in front of me, but
he is the true wild card. And speaking of wild cards, we have a Draven lock-in right off the bat as well. And that's going to be a pretty interesting lane up against the Sivir. It's kind of an all-or-nothing sort of thing.
Yeah, it's really a champion that you have to get Snowbally on, and they're actually going to pick that into the Sivir. It does really well against Sivir. Sivir can't really spell shield too many of his abilities because he's very auto-attack based in terms of trading. So that's a really good pick up there as a counter pick.
Yeah, absolutely. On the other hand, too, there's the Braum for support, and that should be mediating a little bit of the fact that Draven's going to be dishing out a lot of early damage to his Unbreakable. Comes in handy there as well. Gets in front. You don't want to be feeling the Winter's Bite in lane.
Yeah, the Winter's Bite and concussive blows to follow it up. Sivir has really good follow-up on these types of things, especially with the minor buffs and tweaks to her with the Boomerang Blade range, and also that doesn't interrupt auto attacks.
Oh, that too, yeah. And we heard we were going to see something a little bit different, and it does get locked in. That's going to be Poppy. The real question, I doubt it's going to go mid. We might see that top.
No, the real question is it going to be Scarlet Hammer or not? Because last time we saw Poppy,
it is the best skin.
With Vizicachi, it was the Scarlet Hammer Poppy, and that Poppy did extremely well. And it's up against a Maokai, too. It's not going to have, when we saw it previously, it was against a Mundo. Maokai has a little more bully potential and wave clear at the start of the game, So we're going to have to see how that Poppy ends up going. And also at the same time, it's very susceptible to lane swaps.
True that, but there's definitely advantages of this for team fights. If you look across the board, the way that Noble is going to want to try and play this one out. I mean, when she pops her ult on, there's only one target that can take her down. If you pick somebody that does no damage, you take maybe Braum, maybe Maokai, you're going to have a really, really nice window to be able to deal some damage to the enemy team that they just literally can't do anything about.
Yeah, Sivir, though, can kind of kite that back with the ultimate and has the spell shield, so she'll be able to soak a little bit of the damage, but at the same time, I think the primary target there would probably be the Xerath that he dives the back line for.
Yeah, that's true. And if you're getting in Xerath's face, he's not exactly very comfortable on that. We've always seen this kind of snipe compositions being built. You see what enemies getting at it. They kind of want to chase, but at the same time, they have some options to be able to get backline damage. This has been one of Wolf's signature champions for a while, and they're allowing him to play it.
Yeah, Wolf's Claw has just a very large champion pool with multiple ranged champions that are all mages for the most part that have poke, and it's right up his alley. You know, the Jace is something that got banned away from him, so he wasn't able to pick that up. So this is kind of his fallback in these situations.
Certainly seems to work pretty well from them. So we see the full roster lined up here. Last pick, Orianna. Pretty much no surprises there. That's kind of your fallback safe choice for the mid anyways. Going to be difficult to gank, going to be difficult to really get in the business of early game, but the lane to focus, I mean, they may want to swap, as you mentioned, against the Poppy.
Yeah, and I don't know how much Nocturne is going to be present in the early game from Inori. He might get the Feral Flare and just wait around and stack that up, so the early game pressure is not going to be that high. They're pretty much going for wave clear here, and the bot lane would be where I think the most of the action this early game is going to be, unless it's a lane swap.
I think it makes a lot of sense, too, and again, the Nocturne, as you mentioned, probably won't come into play too much until the later stages of the game. The Kha'Zix has potential to get early game snowball going for his team as well, or rather, instead of that, and he could focus that bot to try to give an easier time to Nocturnal, but we'll have to see where he chooses to go. That's going to be the real key to this game for Noble Truth.
Yeah, what I really love about this enemy esports lineup is that they picked to their personalities for the most part. The Wolf's Claw, we talked about how he likes to poke. He picked a pokey champion. Then the other four members, I said they're the go team. It's a Maokai, Nocturne, Braum, and a Sivir who's just going to help everybody else. If you have an AD carry that wants to get into a fight and go, Sivir's pretty much the AD carry for you. Yeah. So all of these guys across the board just picked to their personalities and playstyle, and I love that coming into this game.
Enemy not holding anything back, but we want to know what you guys have to say. You can go ahead and hit us up on at LOL Esports using the hashtag LCS expansion. Let us know your predictions and prophecies for this game or any other ones going forward, but we're going to get loaded onto Summoners in just a minute. I cannot wait. This is going to be a stellar game.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this game, especially since it's pretty much a big underdog story here. Like, Noble Truth are coming into this with everything against them. 3 of their normal roster members are ineligible to play, so they brought in 3 other people. This is a team that has played roster musical chairs, and they're trying to find something that works and throwing some curveballs. So we'll see some crazy stuff here today. So if you guys like crazy League of Legends, don't go anywhere, because oh my god.
Yeah, well, anytime there's a Poppy locked in, like I said, I'm praying for the Scarlet Hammer here, but we'll see what happens. That's going to be a really interesting lane I'll keep my eye on especially. But yeah, that's going to be incredible.
Oh, man. And the biggest thing here, the key to victory for Noble is that they're unscouted, right? We talked about that. And they kind of fear enemies' laning phase. So they want to get out of the laning phase as soon as possible. And when I hear that from a team, I think, all right, as soon as we hit level 6, we're going places. We're just abandoning ship, and we're going to go fight you in random places. We're going to go into your jungle as 4 people, and you're going to be like, why is he at my red? Well, what's going on? I'm really excited to see what happens in this game.
Yeah, this one should be pretty awesome. And, of course, the current lineup, Noble Truth. Yeah, Tauntington's that top laner, and, well, he's following in the footsteps of his Itachi here. We'll see if he can pull off the same success.
He's the guy that I was actually talking to beforehand. He was the support of the team and swapped up to top, and he's like, we're just going to do something absolutely crazy this game. So, taking the Poppy, and it looks like he's making his trek down towards bottom lane.
Yep, they are going to do a line of scrimmage startup, though, all else things considered. But you look at the mid, too. We talked about how they might surprise people. They surprised even us. We didn't even know Leonard was going to be playing.
Yeah, I didn't know he was going to be playing. I thought Razelock was going to be in the mid, and then Logical Dan.
Supposed to be the jungler.
Supposed to be the jungler, yes.
Yeah, they keep everyone guessing, even us.
I don't even know if they knew that he was going to play. Maybe just
they kept themselves guessing.
Hey, Logical Dan sitting there eating breakfast, like, you're out of the team for a second, and we're going to bring in Razelock and then Leonard.
The name Team Confusion is currently up for grabs.
Oh, yeah, there's Team Confusion 2.0.
Yep. That's basically what these guys are here. So you see Cax making some moves in the top side jungle, trying to get a little bit of warding out early, but they don't see anyone there, wondering where that Poppy is. And Tauntington, opted to go for the bot side too, and he's just waiting, patient Poppy in the brush.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Actually, you know what? I'll make some guesses here. The reason he's in the bottom lane is because, like I said, it's kind of one of those matchups where they want to do something completely unexpected. So why don't you send your Poppy to bot lane, have him chill there for a bit. Maybe he'll sit in that bush. Maybe they don't check it, and then they send the 2 people down bottom, and it's a 3-man gank.
Yeah.
Because they're starting on this side. And that's where the AD carries are. They're situated over there.
Could be. So this game will get underway. The lane's going to be normal. And of course, we are going to see both the red sides of the jungle going to be taken up here. And it's not really seen out by Noble Truth. But yeah, they don't send enough
so
people.
They think it's a lane swap,
yep,
but it's not.
There we go. Boom! Right onto Otter as they start this one off. And all of a sudden, they realize the mistake. He's having to flash away. This is going to be a quick first blood unless he can get away. Exhaust is down. Heal's already burnt. The flash in, and it's going to go over to Nocturnal. Noble Truth picking up the kill.
I hope you like quesadillas because this is going to be a lot of cheese coming out here. That was awesome. That was a great strategy. Now, I hate to use the word cheese, but that was ridiculous. They made Otter, he's a really good player. They made him think it was a lane swap, and in a typical lane swap, you want to push up. You want to zone the person. So Otter was doing the appropriate thing in that situation, but they punished him for him being very intelligent and knowing that he was going to do that.
Yeah, absolutely unexpected. And then he immediately teleports up to the top to deal with Cat God, loses almost nothing for it. Noble Truth with a brilliant start to this, and just tilt them maybe.
Yeah, but they do lose their red buff because in the meantime, Inori was taking the red buff of Razor. Or Razelock.
Yeah, that is one thing they did give up that's very true, but they pulled off quite a bit of little extra gold to start the game off in exchange for it. Now you do see Tonington going for the fast start. We didn't really touch upon it. Of course, it's going to be kind of happy slaps up in the top lane for a little while, so we'll talk about that later on. I think these junglers, you said that Inori's not going to be really making much lane presence early on. I think it kind of puts some pressure on him to do that now.
At this point, I think he's just going to go for the Feral Flare and farm up. Like, I really think that's what Inori is going to do in this situation. He's going to have some pressure on him, but NME, they should be confident in their abilities as just solo queue players in order to keep these lanes in their favors, because they're basically playing against Diamond 2s and 5s as top-tier challenger players.
Well, and they know they have that little edge going for them, and they'll just have to rely on the fact that they can outplay as the game goes on. So we'll see if that starts trending that way after this big first game play for Noble Truth. They are pushing Body Drop and Otter back a little bit, but he's able to Unbreakable up a good chunk of that damage, but those axes are still spinning, and Nocturnal is zoning Otter away.
Yeah, it cost him a lot of CS when he died and just missed that first wave, missed these power spikes that Draven is going to have over him. Draven is one of the scariest AD carries to be behind in the early game because he's just going to run at you with those levels.
Yeah, it's pretty terrifying. Now, Inori actually shows some face in the mid and takes a command attack there. Pretty low, but he's got the double buffs. Has to be careful not to give those up. You see Razelock moving around as well, and what the jungler's kind of hanging out towards mid, but not doing much else. Hax is going to trade a little bit of damage with Tonington, but he's a tree. He'll get over it.
No need to get sappy.
Well, he might just leave.
Well, our producers are like, ah!
But Tish, now you see Leonard in a little bit of trouble here, even though he's in safe tower range. Has to be careful. Again, Xerath, you know, he doesn't need to dive you. He can snipe you from afar. I see just a little bit more damage. That Wolf is able to just bully him out from a distance. Razelock actually having to defend this.
Pretty much bullying out 2 people simultaneously. Body drop.
Oh, Nocturnal still kiting away. He gets the stand aside too, and yeah, Body Drop really not looking as tanky as he could, only sitting currently on the Relic Shield. Rellara's doing a really good job at poking aggressively too, and it's not the easiest thing to do with Nami.
No, not at all, and especially against a Braum, who if you misposition once and eat the Winter's Bite, you're going to get slowed, and then the Sivir can follow it very easily, as he just uses his Unbreakable towards the Draven, and just soaks all of that damage for the Sivir. So Otter would be in a great situation there.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks really good on paper, but right now it's not playing out exactly quite that way. You have the CS about to even out, so Nocturnal definitely focusing a little bit more on the harassment.
Ooh, double
nice
bubble.
Double bubble, though, for Relara, and immediately the Unbreakable Body Drop just does not want anyone to get near Otter. He's doing an excellent job of protecting, but he's taking some abuse in the process.
Doing a really good job of juggling these. His inspiration keeps going up, or admiration, there you go.
He gets inspiration from it, too. Cat God, yeah, patient tree is patient. Gotta be,
It's a wet noodle fight in the top.
if they can't see me. They can't see me if I don't move.
They're just going back and forth. They still have their potions in the top lane, so they're very, very safe. Not much is going to happen up there for a while, and it is going to be the Razor coming out here for, or I guess the Madreds, for Inori, so he's going to be able to just stack up his Feral Flare as soon as possible, and that's the route that he's going to be going. So he's looking for a more farm-oriented route. He's saying, you know what, we're fine. We can just coast into this and just take it easy. No need to just go after the lanes very early on.
Well, there's not an extremely huge lead in the gold. It's only about 400 differential, and that dragon might mean quite a lot Noble Truth could be eyeballing that one, but they have to do more than just put a little bit of lane pressure if they want to. You do see Razorlock coming around the side for this mid lane gank. Gonna get the jump on Wolf, force the flash away. Still going, but the heal's already on. Now there's a teleport coming in, and Leonard, right of the arcane. He got 2, got 3, not enough damage, but CatGod is here, and Razorlock could be in trouble. Tonington now with the teleport. He just hit 6. The shockwave gonna land on Caxton, body drop. Tonington, though, has his ult on, the diplomacy, and Inori diving in as well, but nobody's gonna get taken down just yet. Razorlock able to get away, but man, was it close. Yeah,
that was actually a really good teleport in from both of the top laners. Nobody ended up dying there, but it is going to be a little bit of an advantage here for enemy as they're going to continue to push. They got some extra waves, and the gold is almost even because of this.
There's definitely a little bit more pressure that they've been able to put out, but Noble Truth doing a more or less decent response to that one to try and answer back all the way. And, you know, Leonard had a pretty good shockwave. It's just earlier on in the game, you can't get those massive money ones that'll take them down.
Yeah, the shockwave scaling is extremely important, and then when you start this game with very, very little AP and the base damage on it is a huge factor, so you have to wait until later in the game. At this point, it's pretty much a disruption tool.
Yeah. Now, Nocturnal has a slight item advantage here. He's gone ahead and picked up his BF sword to Otter's pickaxe, so he will have that extra damage, not to mention what he gets off of his spinning axes. So it's going to be a rough time for Otter in general. You mentioned the Sivir matchup is not necessarily lane favorable, but Body Drop is there to compensate for that. So far, they're playing it out as best they can, but you know, Nocturnal's getting those little edges where he can.
Yeah, it was that first blood that helped him out a whole bunch. He hasn't cashed in just yet on his admiration, but the fact that he got that first blood with the help of the shot calling and Tonington was really incredible and threw them for a loop because enemy, they'd be ahead at this point.
Yeah, they are just slowly edging out. Now, the gold is dead even, so they've been able to, off the back of that one move as well as a little bit of extra laning CS pressure, they've been able to get some things back in their pockets. Cax actually has been out farming Tonington, but, you know, I don't really know Poppy's CS numbers off the top of my head, how easy it is to farm with her, but I'm going to guess not as much as Maokai.
Poppy is one of the 2 champions in the game that only has single target abilities. The other one being Vayne.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yep.
Difficult to farm.
People will be like, Warwick, and I'm like, nope, his W affects other people. Yay!
It's true. You think it is one target, but then you're like, why did I take damage? I was not the target of that ability.
So Poppy's CSing is pretty poor, doesn't have AoE wave clear against Maokai, who 3 of his 4 abilities are AoE.
Nice bubble on body drop as they continue to poke it out, trade back and forth. Back to the CS numbers, though, Wolf has been doing a pretty good job against Leonard, especially just because of, well, top lane, Tonington. He's got his ult available, but he's going to have to use it on one target. If he does, it's not really going to save his life.
Yeah, he'd have to use it just for the increased damage on CatGod.
Yeah, it's not the way you want to spend that one, so he gets bullied up just a little bit. But
Potion War.
Yep. Keep on sustaining, boys. Enemy is doing a pretty good job across the board. It's just this bot lane is having a rougher time. But, I mean, that's the one advantage that is going for Noble Truth, and they have to push it here. Oh, the wave is out. They're going to go for this one. They know they have to. R'Lar's doing fine, but Nocturnal's the one who gets stunned up. They have, Otter, the Whirling Death comes out, and he's able to avoid it. Heals up as well. Nocturnal extremely low, but body drop. I think this can only end one way. Wait, maybe not. Nocturnal, he's going down. There's the Glacial Fissure. They're going to follow up, trying to get 2. Otter, can he get the gold in his pocket? He's looking for it. Needs an auto attack, but the minions are going to block him away. No, he's got it. One more shot, and Fish is turned into sushi.
Oh, sashimi right there for him. Wow.
Yeah, chop it right up. That was a big play down bot.
Body Drop did a really good job there of peeling, but also at the same time, it was a really good job by R'Lara, because R'Lara threw out the tidal wave after the Unbreakable was done, so it wouldn't be blocked to start that fight off. Really well played there from both supports.
Leonard able to 2-step out of a couple of shots as well as Razorlock coming into the mid. But yeah, I mean, this game's kicking into high gear right now. Oh, the shockwave gonna land on Wolf. Can he stay alive? But Leonard's pretty low. Having to flash away. Nice dodge, and Razorlock gonna pick up that kill. But it's really closer than it should be for Noble Truth in these fights.
It's a lot closer than it should be, considering when you look at things on paper. But Noble Truth, you know, they have nothing to lose and everything to gain right now. Like, they weren't originally going to play back in, I think, August, when they were like, well, we're really high on the ranked 5s ladder. Oh, there's this expansion tournament coming out. They're like, okay, maybe we should get the crew back together. And they tried a little bit. And then they realized, oh, we are going to make it. And then it's like, well, let's get a ragtag team together. And look at that. They pick up a dragon, and they even up the gold once again. A little fight off the back of it, too.
Yeah, Nocturnal has to be careful, though. He's taking far more damage than he's able to dish out. And, of course...
Oh, there he goes!
Oh, here comes Inori. Jumping on. Nocturnal could be in trouble having to flash away as well. Razorlock slow. They have a little bit extra damage, but they're within tower range now, and they brought Leonard to the party. So he will be able to get away the rest of the team. But, again, enemy just showing off this aggressive nature of theirs, and they're nearly pulling it off every time.
Man, that Nocturne ulti, he was just coming over the trees and just floating at him. He looked really scary, but look at this.
Yep,
Another really scary thing.
That's the other spooky ghost. Now, Tonnington's going to have to pop his ult off as well. Give him a few more seconds of sustainability. Might be able to get away. He's going to burst his way into tower range, and he's just going to dip, duck, dive, and dodge out of a couple of skill shots from Wolf.
Heroic charge, put on the dancing shoes.
Something like that.
And
I think he's always wearing dancing shoes.
Well, so sometimes he wants to, you know, be a little more formal.
Well, sometimes you need the tap. This tower might go down pretty quickly here. They are able to poke it just enough. One more shot should do it. Wolf's going to float over with a stiff breeze. So that is one turret. First one of the game going over to enemy in the mid side. Meanwhile, Nocturnal will continue to poke down this wave in the bot, but they are bringing Otter and Body Drop back.
This bottom lane has pretty much been equalized. Also, the fact that Draven got killed is going to slice his adoration. I keep doing that. I'm like, inspiration, adoration in half.
You have inspiration for your adoration.
I know.
Yeah, that's a real big problem. It's so frustrating as a Draven player to get a high number of stacks only to have that reduced by half when you are taken down right before you're about to get a kill. I mean, that's a huge amount of gold that just completely gone.
Makes you a little greedy for the kill, too. He almost had it with his whirling death before.
Very true. Yeah, he's getting pretty
body
close.
Drop.
It was just body
support.
dropped.
That is a really, really good story there that Otter, they're looking for supports. You talked about it earlier, where Body Drop is the hand-picked support of Otter. He's like, I want this guy. I want him on the team. I think he's the best support for me, and he fits my playstyle. And they showed it there. Otter backed off. Body Drop was like, okay, I'm going to peel, but not by following you. Instead, I'm going to peel by just smacking them and killing them.
Yeah. They really have been showing off that synergy that they have as a team. Yes, they might go incredibly, almost mindlessly seeming aggressive as a team together, but those two in particular have a phenomenal synergy. The whole team knows when to go in, and really, they've been showing it off despite not having a massive lead here. They had a bit of a deficit to start the game. They completely brushed it off. I mean, some teams, lesser teams, would tilt off of that. They would mentally start bending a little bit in one direction and just not playing it out as smart in the early game, and that's one way to beat some of those teams, but it doesn't work on enemy.
Now look at that, Nori getting another buff stolen away from the enemy, working towards that Feral Flare from the Brittle's Lantern.
It's stolen away from the Noble Truth?
Yep.
There we go. So, they're going to go for this one, and they get a couple of stacks of concussive blows, and they have to get the ult on Otter. He's exhausted here. Relara is going to send the wave the wrong way. The bubble, it's going to get spell shielded up, and they have the Glacial Fissure on.
Oh.
That should be a pick, and it's Otter going to be able to take down Relara. The Whirling Death going to come back. Otter staying alive, just barely, and meanwhile, there's a bit of a trade going on in this mid side. Wolf, the shockwave coming in. Leonard able to dish more damage than he's taking. The blue buff's going to help. But yeah, it's a 2v1 all of a sudden. Leonard has to realize his days are numbered here. There's the heal out. Leonard, he's going down. That's Wolf getting the kill credit. Meanwhile, Razelock, he falls before he can take down Otter. Nocturnal was not quite close enough.
Nocturnal very low on the HP bar too, and Body Drop very healthy. Otter and Body Drop are doing a fantastic job in this bot lane. They're basically staggering a 2v3. And Inori, he went towards that mid lane, and Wolf, he actually had his flash up the entire time, and he didn't flash the shockwave. He was completely confident that Inori was going to back him up in time.
Yeah, and the vision control here has enabled enemy to really take these plays like they just took down that mid tower without really any repercussions. They spotted Tonnington out immediately. There was no one there to back him up. Now CatGod teleporting into the bot. Nocturnal, he's on the wrong side. He's just going to go down to Body Drop. They didn't even need Cax for that.
Nope. Body Drop, you know, death is the greatest CC, and he's peeling for his team.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes Shield becomes Smashing Door.
Oh, 2, 0, and 3 for Body Drop. He's living up to his name right now.
Absolutely, and everyone across the board is doing at least reasonably well here. They're going to combo up. The Tree and the Mustache Man are going to be taking down this tower very slowly, I might add, but they're going to get some help from Otter in just a second, and that is going to take the turret score 4-0. Enemy eSports rocking and rolling through this early game.
It's like a cartoon I would have watched as a kid, The Tree and the Mustache Man.
Still time.
I know.
I think Riot might own the rights to that, though.
Maybe, we'll have to see. But anyway, they're going to continue to push this out. They have a lot of wave clear here on this composition.
Yep, Razelock jumping in, spell shields down. Otter feels like he might be able to take this. Cax is here. Bubble's not going to land. Twisted advance onto Relara. They're going to try to focus him, but he flashes away. Razelock now, he's got nowhere to go. Trying to stealth, one more flash would do it, and he gets out of there, but not for very long. He goes down. Body Drop the shockwave, of course, and it's still not enough damage. He talked about the scaling. Wow, what a snipe for Wolf as he manages to pick off Relara. So in the end, it was messy, but it was a 2 for none.
Relara's just getting cut up and cooked. Look at that. just ridiculous. 0-3, a lot of pressure on that bottom lane. When I got out of champion select, I was talking about how there's going to be so much pressure in this bot lane, and there was. And look
There's
at that
still pressure. Wow, Nocturnal never knew what hit him. Otter was able to pop him down after Cax locked him down. What a fantastic play. They can get a second-tier tower. This is 16.5 minutes. This is crazy.
And they're going to continue to push this tier 2 turret down, drag this up in 20 seconds, and they're going to be able to establish vision control of this side of the map. And it's really, really big for this team, but they have to back or else they're going to sacrifice it to Noble Truth. Meanwhile, Tunnington, he's been pushing the top lane, but he's 30 CS behind the Maokai. He's also a kill and an assist down as well. This is not looking good for Noble Truth. They still have ways back into this game, though. The Shockwave, if they get him farmed up, would be able to turn a fight. But it also has to hit everybody.
Yeah, not only that, he needs some more items, as you mentioned. He's only sitting on the Athenes. The double Dorans has really set him back. And they've been denying Leonard pretty hard here. You've seen Inori focus up on this when they've tried to trade out. Wolf is unafraid to really do the duel game, and that's something that a lot of Xeraths really have an issue with. So enemy has that advantage going for them. The switch was flipped, and they just started going aggressive. They haven't backed off yet.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is his confidence on this champion. DeWolfclaw was one of the people that was playing Xerath even before it was cool. He's pretty hipster on that champion. He's like, I love this champion. I love Nidalee. I love the poking champions and the sieging champions, and that is definitely his play style. And they've been kind of making it more so that he's aggressive, he's pushing, because the whole team is like that. They move up. He used to just be backline siege tank. Now he's pushing and sieging.
I think he's found
really,
a team
really good.
Suits his style pretty well.
Growth for him.
Yep, Dragon is live, and enemy could be looking to take that one. They did seed the last one immediately, actually, so there it goes down. Noble Truth was not in a position to contest that at all. Wards all through their jungle. Big Brother is watching, and his name is Enemy eSports.
Enemy's doing a really good job of warding up, keeping the vision control, and keeping the pressure on, too. They have ranged wave clear, and if you look at the lineup of Noble Truth, the only real wave clear here is they have some Void Spike damage, but that was nerfed about a patch ago. They took about 30 damage off the max rank of it on the base. So that is actually a substantial nerf, especially when you need it to clear minions, and it's not going to one-hit them anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely going to hurt them a little bit more, and it's one of the reasons we haven't seen Kha'Zix as prioritized, but now Razelock still trying to make that happen. Otter, the Shockwave, it's not going to connect. Razelock, he's going down. Otter gets the unstoppable kill. The wave crashes over everybody, but there really isn't enough damage there. Tonnington will stay alive for just a moment, but as soon as his ult wears off, it might be good night, Sweet Poppy. They're gonna find Relara. Wolf getting another one for the spree. Healing up. Leonard wants to find something. Inori's going in. Everything's going haywire. Noble Truth are dropping like flies. Leonard having to flash over his own wall, and it is only Leonard and a half-health Tonnington, quarter-health Tonnington remaining, running the wrong way.
Yeah, and the only thing that they really can take solace in right now is the fact that they have Orianna, their primary wave clear here. So Kha'Zix is like kind of their secondary off of the side of Orianna. That's about it, though. If you look at the side of enemy, pretty much everyone on that team can wave clear. Sivir, even Maokai. Nocturne has a really good ranged wave clear that just goes straight down, and they get this turret so quickly off the back of that. The base is already cracked at 19.5 minutes. Tunnington,
he wants to go for this.
He's ulting in.
He's got no ult available. He's trying to make something happen with his team. The TP, yeah, just spent down as he never really backed off that one. Lead the charge on Cax, but Cax is perfectly fine with it. Throws down the Maelstrom. Otter, though, might be the target. They spell shield. In comes body drop. Stand behind me, and CatGod going to take down Razelock. Leonard on the run. This entire team is scattering. Noble Truth just has to find something here. They absolutely have to. Nocturnal's in the picture. He's trying, but he's melting. Otter with the godlike kill. 20 minutes in, he gets a double, taking down Tonnington. They're still going. They're not done yet. This is going to be the ace, and it's 8 seconds till Razelock. A triple kill now for Otter, and they can shove down. This inhibitor is good as dead.
Yeah, they're going to get this inhibitor off of that. The TP in from Tonnington without the ultimate, which is what I wanted to say. And also on top of that, he wasn't full HP, goes and starts the fight. It's pretty much a death sentence for himself. And then the great stun from the Wolf's Claw, max range there, getting the maximum duration onto Nocturnal, who was putting a ton of axes into his enemy, gets completely 100-0'd, and they pick up that fight with 5 kills in the ace.
These were very risky picks, and it seems like the downside is showing right now. Noble Truth definitely having some serious trouble. I don't think we've seen a deficit this big in a long time. 12,000 gold at 21 minutes in. One inhibitor down the middle, and enemy just not even slowing up.
Yeah, and here's the thing, too, is when it's this early on in the game and you crack an inhibitor, you don't have the combat stats on Noble Truth's side to deal with these super minions fast enough. You cannot let them stack up to a 2-minion wave, 2 super minion wave, because then they buff each other, and you have an even harder time clearing them out, which leaves enemy to do whatever they want. They can 4-1 split push right now with the Maokai TP. They are in a great situation to just continue to close this game out.
Yeah, they can take it however they want it, fast or slow. But you see Noble Truth trying to establish a little bit of vision control clearing, using ults just to clear some waves at this point. They might be able to grab a little bit of gold back when the Dragon does come up, but that's not quite there yet. They didn't have the timer at all.
He's using it to check Baron so that he could make sure that enemy wasn't doing it, because they have multiple pink wards littered all throughout that side. The vision control has been in their favor all game long. This is a team that, despite being formed about a month and a half ago, is made up of really, really good players from the Challenger ladder. And they know each other. And Otter, like we said, he's with a very comfortable support, and the entire team is kind of just meshed together, and the vision control kind of speaks for that too.
Not to mention the structure they've established too. Enemy has really built itself a presence. They have a number of analyst coaches on staff doing everything they can to make sure these guys can get the plays out, and it seems to be paying off. Now Tonington in a lot of trouble, gets his ult off anyways, but they do catch them, and it's going to be Razorlock stunned up by Kakot. Otter is going to be able to get the legendary kill once again. They're chasing him all the way back, and the bug got splatted real quick there. They're still going forward. Relara has almost no health remaining. The Shockwave going to connect 3 members, and here it goes. Tonington, this is his time to shine, or is it? He falls down immediately. Nowhere to go. They're chasing him all through the base, diving. We don't even care about the turrets. Cat God, one more kill, picking up Nocturnal, and Inori just in the middle. Going to dive the fountain, and he cancels it last second. Talk about next level trolling. Oh my goodness.
That was great. But they're going to continue to push this base down. That was a 4-on-5. Inori wasn't there, and he shows up at the end.
They can do it. They can end this game right here. The Nexus is about to fall. It's only 23 minutes in, but enemy is crashing down on Noble Truth, and they take game number 1 quickly.
And just showing the number 2 seed enemy, despite getting thrown some curveballs in the early game there from the top laner and having that early kill fall into the hands of Draven, Otter was still able to keep up with that, and then they just kept the pressure on once they stabilized themselves off of having superior laners.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an incredibly quick turnaround once they flipped that switch, said, guys, now's the time for full-on aggression, and they played it out that way perfectly to the end, and really spooked the living daylights out of Noble Truth. That last second fountain dive, I thought that was going for sure.
I think Inori was just having some fun there. He was like, I didn't even get to do anything in that fight, so let's just whoop-oo, have some little spotlight on him for a second.
Yeah, well, Feral Flare stacks don't mean too much when you can end a game in 23 minutes.
Yeah, I know. He got that item, and then he's like, I'm going to do anything with it.
I don't need it.
Just
for fun.
Could have just had a wriggle flame.
It's like one of those things that you like put on your desk and look at every couple of months.
Hey, sometimes those things are really pretty, though.
They are.
And you're just like, ah.
It's true.
Oh.